My girlfriend whispered in the airport line, "Don't speak. You embarrass me in front of officials." The officer looked up. I stopped mid-sentence. Understood. I stepped back and let her take over. The issue didn't start at the counter. It started when the officer turned to her and asked for something she didn't have. I'm 34, been with my girlfriend for almost 3 years. We met at a friend's dinner party, hit it off, moved in together after a year. She worked in corporate communications. I had a background in customer service and hospitality before transitioning to project management. That detail matters because I know how to talk to people. I know how to navigate uncomfortable situations with authority figures, service workers, anyone really. It's literally been my job. My girlfriend, though, always had this thing about appearances, about looking polished, professional, in control. She hated when I'd crack jokes with waiters or chat with cashiers. Said it made us look common. I ignored it mostly, thought it was just her being particular. We'd planned this trip for months. 2 weeks in Europe, hopping between countries, staying in nice hotels she'd picked out. She handled the bookings, I handled the logistics, transportation, timing, backup plans. We were supposed to be a team. The morning we left, I was carrying both our bags through the terminal. She was on her phone, texting work people, barely acknowledging me. When we got to the check-in counter, there was already a line. International flight, lots of families, business travelers. We waited about 20 minutes. I started chatting with the guy behind us. Just small talk. Where you headed? What brings you there? That kind of thing. My girlfriend elbowed me. "Can you not?" she muttered. "Not what? Be so loud. You don't need to make friends with everyone." I shut up. Wasn't worth the fight before a long flight. When we got to the counter, the airline agent was this young woman, maybe mid-20s, clearly stressed. She was handling our documents when my girlfriend's phone rang. She answered it, started talking about some work crisis, completely ignoring the agent. The agent looked at me. "I need both passports, please." I started to pull mine out when my girlfriend covered the phone. "I've got this. Just wait." She went back to her call. The agent waited. People behind us were getting impatient. I could feel the tension building. Finally, my girlfriend hung up, handed over both passports without apologizing for the wait. The agent checked them, typed some stuff, then frowned. "Ma'am, there's an issue with your booking." "What issue?" "The name on your ticket doesn't match your passport exactly. You have a middle initial on the ticket that's not on your passport." My girlfriend's face went tight. "That's ridiculous. I booked this months ago." "I understand, but we need exact matches for international travel. I can try to fix it, but it might take some time." "How much time?" "Maybe 30 minutes. I'll need to contact the booking department." My girlfriend looked at me like this was somehow my fault. "Did you double-check the booking?" "You made the booking," I said quietly. "But you were supposed to review everything." I didn't argue. The people behind us were definitely listening now. The agent was trying to be helpful, typing away, making calls. That's when we had to move to the side to let other people check in. We stood there, bags at our feet, while my girlfriend paced and made angry phone calls to the airline's customer service. I tried to offer suggestions. Maybe we could rebook, maybe we could pay a fee to fix it, but she cut me off every time. "I don't need your help. I'm handling it." 30 minutes became an hour. Our flight was in 2 hours. My girlfriend was getting more agitated, snapping at the agents, at me, at anyone who came near us. I suggested we grab coffee, take a breath, but she told me to stop being useless. Finally, they fixed the ticket. We rushed through security. That's where the real problem started. The security line was long. We were definitely going to be cutting it close. My girlfriend was in front of me, putting her stuff in bins, when one of the TSA officers asked her to step aside for additional screening. "Why?" she demanded. "Random selection, ma'am. It'll just take a moment." "I don't have a moment. Our flight boards in 40 minutes. "I understand. This won't take long." She looked back at me. "Tell them we're going to miss our flight." I started to say something to the officer, just to politely explain our situation, when my girlfriend grabbed my arm. She leaned in close and whispered, "Don't speak. You embarrass me in front of officials." The officer looked up at us. I'd been mid-sentence, about to explain about the ticket issue and the delay. I just stopped. "Understood," I said to my girlfriend, not the officer. I stepped back and let her handle it. Watched her try to negotiate, argue, demand to speak to a supervisor. The officer remained calm, professional, but firm. The screening was mandatory. The issue didn't start at the counter. It started when the officer turned to her and asked for something she didn't have. "Ma'am, can I see your boarding pass again?" She handed it over. He looked at it, then at his screen, then back at her. "This boarding pass is for yesterday's flight." Silence. Complete silence. My girlfriend's face went white. "That's impossible. I printed it this morning." "No, ma'am, look at the date. This is for a flight that departed yesterday." She snatched it back, stared at it, and I watched the realization hit her. She'd printed the wrong boarding pass. We'd rebooked the flight after the ticket name issue, but she'd printed the old boarding pass from the original flight time. "Where's the new boarding pass?" the officer asked. I thought this was it. "Do you have the confirmation email?" She pulled out her phone, started frantically scrolling. Her hands were shaking. After a minute, she found it. "Here, I have the confirmation number. You'll need to go back to the ticket counter and get a new boarding pass printed. You can't go through security without it. Our flight boards in 35 minutes. Then I'd suggest you hurry, ma'am." She turned to me, and I'll never forget the look on her face. Not apologetic, not embarrassed, angry, like this was still somehow my fault. "Why didn't you check this? You told me not to speak. You said I embarrass you." "That's not, you know what I meant. You could have looked at the boarding pass. You took both of them. You were handling everything. You told me to stay out of it." People were staring now. The officer was waiting for us to move. My girlfriend grabbed her stuff and stormed back toward the ticket counter. I followed with both our bags, again. We got new boarding passes printed. Ran back through security. Made it to the gate with maybe 10 minutes to spare. We were both sweating, stressed, and not talking to each other. On the plane, she took the window seat, put in earbuds, and ignored me for the entire 8-hour flight. Update 1. We landed, got through customs, made it to our hotel. The room was nice, overlooking the city, exactly what she'd wanted. She immediately went to shower. I sat on the bed, exhausted, and started thinking about the airport. About how she'd blamed me. About how she'd told me I embarrassed her. About how I'd carried everything, fixed nothing, and gotten treated like I was the problem. When she came out, wrapped in a robe, she seemed calmer. "That was a disaster," she said. "Yeah. The airline shouldn't have made that mistake with the ticket. You made the booking, but they should have caught the middle initial thing." "Maybe." She sat on the bed next to me. "I'm sorry I snapped at you. I was stressed. You told me I embarrass you. I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it?" She paused. "I just meant, you have this way of talking to people, like you're old friends or something. It's not always appropriate, especially with officials or people in authority. You need to let me handle those situations. Because I embarrass you. Because I'm better at it. You printed the wrong boarding pass. You didn't catch your own booking error. But I'm the one who embarrasses you. Are we really going to do this now? We're on vacation. We need to talk about this." I didn't sleep well that night. Kept replaying it. The way she dismissed me, blamed me, made me feel small in front of strangers. Update 2. The next few days were tense. We did the tourist things, museums, restaurants, walking tours. But every interaction with service people, tour guides, anyone, became this weird power struggle. At a restaurant, I tried to order in the local language. I'd been practicing, wasn't perfect, but the waiter appreciated the effort. My girlfriend cut me off. "He'll have the chicken. I'll have the fish." "Thank you." The waiter looked confused but took the order. After he left, she turned to me. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Try to speak the language. Your pronunciation is terrible. You're making us look ignorant." "I'm trying to be respectful. You're trying to show off. There's a difference." At a museum, I was talking to the tour guide about the history of a particular exhibit. I'd done some reading before the trip, was genuinely interested. My girlfriend pulled me aside. "Stop monopolizing the guide. Other people have questions." Nobody else was asking anything. "That's not the point. You're being obnoxious." Every time I opened my mouth, she found a reason to criticize. Too loud. Too friendly. Too casual. Too much. On day 4, we were at a train station trying to figure out which platform we needed. I saw an information desk and started walking toward it. "Where are you going?" "To ask for help." "I can read the board." "We don't need help. The board's in another language, and you're guessing." "I'm not guessing. I know what I'm doing." She was guessing. We ended up on the wrong train, had to get off 2 stops later, and backtrack. Cost us an hour. She didn't apologize. Didn't even acknowledge it. That night, I realized we needed to have a serious conversation when we got home. Update 3. On day 5, we had to take another flight to the next country. Different airline, Different airport, same dynamic. She was handling all the documents. I was carrying all the bags. At the check-in counter, the agent asked for both our IDs. My girlfriend handed them over. The agent looked at them, typed some information, then smiled. Everything looks good. You're all set. We made it through security without incident this time. At the gate, we sat in uncomfortable silence. Can we talk? I finally said. About what? About the airport. About this whole trip. About how you've been treating me. She sighed. I've been stressed. Work has been crazy, and this trip was supposed to be relaxing, and instead everything went wrong. Everything went wrong because you wouldn't let me help. You told me I embarrass you. I was upset. I didn't mean it. You've spent this entire trip criticizing everything I do. Every word I say. Every interaction I have. That's not just stress. She was quiet for a moment. I know I can be controlling sometimes. Sometimes. Okay, a lot. But it's because I care about how things go. I want everything to be perfect. At my expense. I'm not your employee. I'm your partner. She looked down at her hands. You're right. I've been treating you like you work for me instead of like we're in this together. So what do we do about it? I don't know, but I don't want to lose you over this. We boarded the flight and sat together. She fell asleep on my shoulder during the flight. It wasn't fixed, but it was a start. Update 4. The rest of the trip was different. Not perfect, but better. She made an effort to include me in decisions. Asked my opinion. Let me talk to people without cutting me off. At dinner one night, I ordered for both of us in broken local language. The waiter laughed good-naturedly at my pronunciation, but appreciated the effort. I looked at my girlfriend, waiting for the criticism. She smiled instead. That was sweet. You really tried. Small progress, but it mattered. We spent our days exploring together. She still had her moments of wanting complete control, but she'd catch herself and apologize. I learned to speak up earlier instead of letting resentment build. On the last night, we were having drinks at the hotel bar. I've been thinking, she said, about what you said, about how I treat you. And you were right. I do treat you like you're beneath me sometimes. Like my way is the only right way. Why do you think you do that? She was quiet for a long time. My parents were like that. Everything had to be perfect, presentable. Any mistake was embarrassing. I think I internalized that. That makes sense. But I'm not a mistake. And neither are my imperfections. I know. I'm going to work on it. Maybe therapy would help. That's a good idea. For both of us, maybe. Couples therapy. She nodded. I don't want to be the person who makes you feel small. I love you. I love you too. But love isn't enough if the respect isn't there. I do respect you. I just need to show it better. Final update. We flew home together. On the same flight, in seats next to each other. It wasn't magically perfect, but we talked. Really talked. About our relationship, about patterns we'd fallen into, about what we both needed to change. When we got home, she started looking for therapists. We found one who specialized in couples counseling. It's been 3 months of weekly sessions now. She still has moments where she tries to control everything. But now she catches herself. Apologizes. Asks for my input. And I've learned to speak up immediately instead of staying quiet and building resentment. Last week, we were at the airport again. Different trip, just a weekend getaway. At the check-in counter, there was an issue with our booking. She started to handle it, then stopped and looked at me. Do you want to talk to them? You're better at this than I am. I smiled and stepped forward. Explained the situation to the agent calmly. Made a joke that made everyone laugh. Got it resolved in 5 minutes. As we walked away, she squeezed my hand. Thank you for being patient with me. For not giving up. Thank you for being willing to change. I never want to make you feel embarrassed again. About yourself or about us. You don't. Not anymore. We're not perfect. We still have hard conversations. She still struggles with letting go of control, and I still struggle with speaking up before I'm angry. But we're working on it together. The relationship didn't end in that airport security line. Instead, it was reborn there. Because that was the moment I stopped accepting being made small, and she started realizing what she was doing. Sometimes the worst moments in a relationship become the turning point. The place where you either break or choose to rebuild stronger. We chose to rebuild. I learned something from that airport moment. When someone tells you that you embarrass them, you have a choice. You can believe them and leave, or you can demand they examine why they feel that way and whether it's fair. Sometimes the problem isn't you. Sometimes it's them. And sometimes, if they're willing to look at themselves honestly, things can change. My girlfriend texted me this morning before I finished writing this. I'm proud of us for fighting for this instead of running. I texted back, me too. We're not the couple we were before that trip. We're better, more honest, more equal. She doesn't tell me to be quiet anymore, and I don't stay quiet when something bothers me. The relationship didn't end when she said I embarrassed her. It evolved, and that evolution was harder than breaking up would have been, but it was worth it. Edit. People have asked if things really changed or if I'm just pretending. Fair question. The truth is, change is slow. She still has controlling tendencies, and I still have moments where I default to silence. But the difference is we're both aware of it now, and we're actively working on it. That's not perfection, but it's growth. Edit 2. For those saying therapy is just delaying the inevitable, maybe you're right. Maybe we'll break up eventually. But I'd rather try to fix something worth saving than give up at the first major conflict. We'll see where it goes, but for now, we're both happier than we were.